Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am honored to be here today for the signing of North Carolina House Bill 799. It's a historic example of the outstanding relationship between our armed forces and the state of North Carolina. Whether we are talking about soldiers at Fort Bragg, a Marine at one of the 7 camps or Marine Corps air stations throughout the state, the Coast Guardsmen at Elizabeth City, or an airman from right here at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, the state of North Carolina is truly a great friend of the armed forces. Service in the armed forces is a commitment that is rife with sacrifices, both for the service members and their families. As our nation continues to field an all-volunteer force, it is critical to address the challenges that are inherent in military service. North Carolina House Bill 799 does just that. As military members transition from a life of uniformed service to the civilian workforce, they are often met with difficulties and delays obtaining the proper civilian certification for their military occupation. Additionally, the frequent movements of military members to different locations creates constant obstacles to licensing for their spouses. This bill removes many of those obstacles and affords service members and their spouses the opportunity to obtain North Carolina time, allowing them to more quickly enter the civilian workforce. With this bill, the state of North Carolina continues the tradition of military support that makes this such a great state. Military members and their families are supported, enabling mission accomplishment while also ensuring a steady flow of hardworking and highly skilled individuals into the state's civilian workforce. Vital to the passing of this legislation is the Governor of North Carolina, Beth Perdue. I am honored today to welcome Governor Perdue to Goldsboro and would like to personally thank her and the legislators of North Carolina for bringing this bill to fruition. Governor, your concern for the men and women of our armed forces continues to make North Carolina the most military-friendly state in our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor to introduce the Governor of the great state of North Carolina, Beth Perdue.
So, Seymour Johnson is a proud part of North Carolina's military history. I was tripped to the Pentagon. I was there working for all the bases, but I had one of the admirals, I think, not even somebody in the Air Force, an admiral, pull me aside and he said, "Miss Perdue, all these other bases would be doing better and not be so worried if they were like Wayne County and Seymour Johnson. They would have Wilbur bring them barbecue everywhere." And I figured out that was your secret weapon. 2 or 3 times a year you haul barbecue up there, and everybody in America understands about Seymour Johnson, and you have friends all over the state. So today we got to pick where we wanted to do this military bill. During the BRAC, one of the things that I heard over and over is it was my job to sell the folks who were the decision makers to the reality that North Carolina is indeed the most military-friendly state in America. And we worked hard to make that happen. Tony and John, and now Lewis and Greer, all of us together in the civilian community working with great local leadership like John and Alice have partnered together working with the business community to do anything it takes. We hear a complaint and we address it before we're told about it from the Pentagon. Well, the one thing that we heard over and over that we tried to do in 2006 that we didn't completely fix was this whole challenge of licensure. And today, Senator Rand and I have just left the Special Ops change of command in Fayetteville, Fort Bragg, where we saw all of these accolades go into the families. The Special Ops, those families were mostly grown leadership. There's nothing worse for a new airman and his family or her family to come into Seymour Johnson and not be able to find a job. And know that the wife or husband has a great teaching career and a license in some other state, or know that they're a dental hygienist or a plumber or whatever it is, and that they were really working and making money to help support the family in the other state, and they come to North Carolina and somebody says, "Oh, but no, not you." The folks on that last BRAC talked to us about this being one of the most important things that we can do as a state, because we understand that the military community is only as good as the support they receive from their family and the community make sure that we do anything at all we can do legally, Louis, to make sure that we are indeed military friendly. This piece of legislation today is marvelous. I watched it move through the House and Senate, and I was amazed at the commitment to do whatever it takes for us to keep North Carolina military friendly. And so I'm honored to be here today signing these bills, and I hope the message that the press across the state takes to folks who are moving into military communities is that, yes, if I'm a teacher assistant or a teaching or educational professional, there's still time in North Carolina to get my license before the school bell rings in the middle of August. We can do that because in this state we've made it possible to have something called reciprocity. It's good old common sense. It makes sense to me. It made sense to our military leaders in the General Assembly. And it more than makes sense for the men and women aboard the bases in this state. So congratulations to North Carolina, another gold star to the fact that we are the most military